Martin will go. So, of course, we've got today in our monthly series, and Martin's going to talk about integrating and all the work that he does in the back end and the front end for all for ground support labs of all screens and kiosks and out of home. And of course, retail media is a big growth area. Ground support labs. Thank you, Martin. But just before we get there, want to give everybody an update. We have an amazing lineup next week. We actually had a great event last week in London, which Martin was at, where we launched UK DPAA, and it was a big, great event. We had almost 90 people there, and we had major brands speak, the head of Unilever Advertising, the head of HSBC Advertising, Tesco. We had Talon there, we had Kinetic there, and then this is what we have on Tuesday coming up. The CMOs of Pepsi and McDonald's, some good friends of mine, the woman who runs product marketing at Google, talking about virtual reality that they've done in Times Square. Tracy from MasterCard, the CEO of North America for Assembly, one of the hottest agencies, of course, Jim Wilson, JC Conti from View, and another great group of people. So make sure, go to our website and make sure you register. And this is the event of the year. It actually every year is the largest media and marketing event that occurs, the largest one-day media marketing event that occurs every year. So please go to our website, dpwaglobal.com, sign up, and you all get the member rate. And then let's launch into Martin. Actually, Ajay and Blake are running this because I'm going to have to go off in a moment and make sure that everything is happening for our big event on Tuesday. We have the whole world coming. Okay. That's an interesting calendar we're looking at, Blake. What is that? Or is that Martin's calendar? All right, Blake, why
No,
don't you come on the audio so we can hear you and you, Martin, can
that
talk.
was mine. My little spinning ball on my MacBook started working, so you guys got to see behind the scenes.
Okay. All right. So is Martin ready to showcase?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Please go right ahead. And Martin, I will talk to you soon, and Blake and Ajay will run the show. Thank you, guys. And thank you, Martin.
Thanks, Barry. Okay. I think I'm sharing. So a thumbs up from somebody. Blake, thank you very much. Okay. So let me first of all introduce myself. So my name is Martin Barnett. I'm the managing director of the UK and EMEA leg of a business called Ground Support Labs. We are a global organization. We're headquartered in New York. A big fat part of our team is in the US, and a slightly slimline version of our team is in the UK. I run the team out of the UK. I'm in pole position for tonight, so thank you very much. I say tonight; it's this afternoon for most of you guys, so forgive me. Um, Let me just introduce GSL Ground Support
And
Labs.
Martin, I sorry to interrupt, Martin, before I bugger
Sure.
off, but make sure your folks, and if anybody wants to connect, Martin, who will be at the summit next week from ground support, and what will you be
Steve
doing there?
Marquis will be there. Shivan Parikh will be there. I think it's those two.
Great. And do you guys have a booth or anything, or?
Yeah, we've got a pop up, so we'll be there in presence and in real estate. And actually, the last slide of my deck today has some contact details. So, get ready with your screenshotting, and you can take those contact details away with you to just make it nice,
Perfect.
nice and easy.
Thank you. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Barry. Okay, so Ground Support Labs GSL might be a new name to many of you. We are not new in the space. We've been working together as a team for probably about 13 years now. We've done a lot of work in retail and audience engagement technology. We would consider ourselves to be specialists in retail and consumer engagement technology. And as I said, we're headquartered in New York, and I run the London business for EMEA. So the topic I wanted to talk about today was really the advancement in technology. And it's some stories that will be of interest to media owners and landowners, and how they can reduce their environmental impact, how they can reduce cost, and how they can reduce downtime for digital screen assets. And ultimately, that's what we do best, what we specialize in. So let me just jump and say a thanks to DPAA for allowing us this little slot, and for the partnership. It was great to see the growth of the DPAA internationally, to meet with Tim and Barry in London last week. And as I said to Barry right at the beginning, it was a full room. It was standing room only. Barry, you'll remember we had to get more chairs in. I mean, that's a sign of success. When you have to go out and get more chairs, that's the sign of the success of a good event. So thank you, guys, and our partnership with DPAA. And we're very happy to be part of it. So the focus of this presentation is on what goes on behind the scenes in digital out of home, digital signage, retail technology. And ultimately, it's about two key things: how to keep the lights on and how to keep operating costs under control. So if you're a media owner and if you experience significant downtime or huge service costs, then this presentation is for you. Right now, we are working with a lot of media owners, and they're asking us to survey their estate, survey their network, look at their technology, and a lot of them are asking us to migrate their technology onto our platform because they have those two pain points. The lights are not on and the costs are too high. We've actually noticed a significant shift in technology stability post-COVID. We've noticed that once the lights were turned back on the shopping malls and kiosks and billboards after COVID, literally thousands of screens are down. And we're seeing that, and customers are talking to us about that all the time. We've got aging and obsolete technology, out of warranty equipment, lack of asset management, inventory management, unstable networks, and a general lack of resilience in the networks. So that's what we hear. That might be what you feel. And if it is, as I say, this presentation is for you. So I'm going to start by introducing you to a new word, to Zen. And Zen is the platform that helps you sleep easy at night. The Zen platform was created by us, by GSL, for the retail and digital out-of-home industries. And it specializes in the scalable delivery and support of technology. And it has been deployed by major global brands into over 46 countries. Zen answers the following questions: how do I manage my delivery at scale? How do I know the technology is working? How do I fix the technology if it isn't working? How do I get insights for audience engagement and audience behavior? And how do I manage the network and connectivity? And ultimately, how do I target and personalize the delivery of my content? Zen answers all of those questions. Okay, so the three kind of categories of my conversation is about sustainability, it's about business performance, and it's about cost. And I'm going to ask you to think about something. Imagine a world where you wake up to a report of what was fixed last night instead of waking up to a report of what failed last night. And imagine how much better the coffee tastes when AI and automated smart tech detects, resolves, and reports problems before anyone even notices that something was wrong. Now imagine how this approach can help shape your sustainability, your business performance, and cost reduction strategy. So I'm talking about reduced service calls, I'm talking about reduced costs, and I'm talking about reduced downtime. So what does that look like? Well, if we look at sustainability for a minute, we can demonstrate and have demonstrated to our customers a 96% reduction in what we call truck rolls, service calls, truck rolls. One of our customers has enjoyed a 96% reduction in service call costs that it equals less gas, less flights, less CO2, cleaner air. These are all sustainability achievements. we can improve the first time fix even when there has to be a service call by knowing what failed in advance. So the smarter the tech is, the more we know about what went wrong. So when we do in the 4%, when we do go to a service call, we know what we're looking at, we know what failed, we can take it with us and we can fix it. And we can reduce energy consumption with smart power control. And with smart power control, we can detect users and detect audiences, and we can allow power down, we can reduce brightness, we can reduce functionality when there is no audience. But of course, if we move on to cost reduction, we could demonstrate to some of our customers a $472,000 reduction in service call costs. This was for one of our customers over the life of their contract. We can reduce energy costs by up to 50% by being smart about delivering content, switching screens on, switching lighting on only when there is an audience. And we can reduce administration and management costs. And those those management costs and overhead costs equate to whether or not manual intervention is required to raise a ticket, or whether automation is going to detect the problem and report it and raise a ticket. So if we talk about business performance, what does that mean in terms of business performance? It means we're able to demonstrate a reduction in downtime from days and weeks to minutes. We've heard from one of our new customers that their previous service partner was reliant on sending service technicians out to fix problems, and they were quoting a 40-day resolution time. 40 days to get to a site, to schedule a technician, to get to a site, to diagnose the problem, and to fix the problem. That's 40 days of downtime. Our platform is able to take those days and weeks and move them into minutes. So again, with automation, with AI, but also with some smarts, we're able to reduce response times to 8 minutes. We have customers very local to me in London, for example, that are enjoying early morning resolution times to their customer experience center of sub 8 minutes. And they're also enjoying less than 1.5 hours of resolution time. And all of that comes about as a result of mindset and tech smarts. And the AI in the platform reduces manual service ticket entry by 45%. That means in 55% of cases, the technology is raising the ticket either manually or automated, depending on whether the platform detects a problem with the technology. So what does that mean in the round? Well, it means Zen is the platform that's agnostic to any screen, any manufacturer, any network, any location. It can work with any CMS. So some examples here, you can see that Zen is being used in retail digital signage in the top left-hand corner. It's being used in ad kiosks, indoor and outdoor ad kiosks. It's being used in LED billboards and poster boards. It's being used in in-store digital marketing, shopping malls. And one of our newest partners in the UK, Mass Media, who was with us in London last week, Mass himself engaged with us for some of the problems that we're talking about today, some of the challenges we're talking about today. So worldwide deployments for Zen as well. So I want to focus in a little bit, if I may.
Sorry, Martin, can you hear
Sure.
me? Just one moment. The whole country here has a national alert test where there's big noise coming out from all of our phones. So if I could ask you just to go back about a minute in what you presented there. Is it over for most of you folks? Can you guys just raise your hand if it's over? Okay. Yeah, it's a big national alert test on every radio, every TV, and every cell phone that's been sending out this high-pitched signal for the past 30 seconds. So if you don't mind just going back, I think it's over. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. We did ours in the UK last year, and it was a huge failure. 50% of people didn't get it. I understand.
I think Ground Support Labs should actually take care of the
100%.
failures and control it, right?
100%. Are we good starting at the beginning of the slide? Okay.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay. So what I'm describing here is Zen as being agnostic. Okay. So it will work with any screen from any manufacturer, working on any network in any location and using any CMS. Our platform integrates with your preferred CMS. And I'll talk a little bit in a little bit about what that means in terms of CMS. But the platform has been deliberately designed to be agnostic to programmatic, to DSP, to SSP. So your chosen platform of choice integrates into Zen. And so I'm talking about retail digital signage in the top left-hand corner. I'm talking about outdoor kiosks and totems. I'm talking about LED billboards, in-store digital marketing, shopping malls, and bottom right, worldwide deployments. One of our newest partners in the UK, Mass Media. Okay, so the big question is, what is it that makes Zen so smart, right? So we're making some bold statements here about reduction in cost, reduction in downtime. What does that mean, and where does that come from? And I'll explain some of that without, of course, giving all of the crown jewels away. This platform has unparalleled remote management. And I'm not just talking about remote managing the media player. I'm talking about remote managing the entire ecosystem. And by ecosystem, I'm talking about screens, and I'm talking about routers, switches, data networks, lighting. I'm talking about heating, cooling. All of the peripheral parts of the ecosystem are integrated into the platform, and we can manage all of that interconnected technology. I'm talking about those deep hardware integrations. So, we have the communication and the API integrations into screens, LED processors, LED boards, power supplies, again, lighting systems, routers and connectivity, LTE, etc., etc. Network and connectivity management in this platform is totally joined up. The connectivity and LTE platform available through Zen works seamlessly and roams to 188 different countries. So wherever you are, wherever you're deploying, you don't have to worry about thinking about connectivity regionally. You don't have to worry about data and overage charges. The whole thing aggregates onto one network plan. And I'm talking about remote power management as well. So how many times does a service technician go to a store, go to a site, go to a kiosk, open the back, go through a permits process, go through an induction process, open the kiosk, and reboot the screen? It happens, too often to be comfortable. But by incorporating remote power management, not only, of course, can we be smart about sustainability, not only can we avoid burning electrons when there's nobody watching or at night, and work with power scheduling, but of course we can use that as a tool to keep the lights on when technology fails. I'm talking about self-healing and AI. So earlier I mentioned about 45% of our tickets can be self-healed. So that means our software receiving a proactive alert, understanding what might be wrong with a piece of technology, fixing that thing that might be wrong with a piece of technology in up to 45% of cases, and then raising a ticket out of politeness, but the issue has been fixed. Hence my opening statement about how does the coffee taste in the morning when you know what got fixed overnight rather than finding out what broke overnight. Proactive monitoring is key, and we don't necessarily rely on banks of people watching banks of monitors of CCTV cameras to see whether screens are working. We rely on our integrations. We have alerts that tell us day and night if there's something untoward with temperature, environment, humidity, the climate, the power supply, the data network, whether the schedule on the CMS is about to expire, and so on and so on and so on. And we provide our partners with a self-help portal. So all of this data about what's going on in the network and where things have gone wrong and been fixed, and where things have gone wrong and require a service visit, all of that is available to our customers completely transparently in a self-help portal. Oops, wrong way. And then ultimately reporting. So, we pride ourselves on our quarterly reporting to our key partners. And again, that's part of that transparent process. So really what we're talking about here is total ecosystem management, not just the management of a media player. Total hardware and display agnostic approach. And we're agnostic to the OS, We're agnostic to whether you're using a demand side or a supply side. We're agnostic to the CMS that you might like to choose. We have integrations with sensors and detectors and lighting and cooling and cameras and so on, because they're all part of the ecosystem. And programmatic integrations with our friends at people like Hivestack or Adomni and so on. Power supply conditioning, monitoring and control, temperature, energy monitoring, analytics and insights, and that again, that helps us deliver targeted and dynamic content because we know who's watching, what their demographic is, which direction they're walking, what their dwell time is, and so that gives us the ability to target the ad or the content based on someone's behavior as well as their demographic and profile. And then all of this is GSL Zen. I'm describing here a single pane of glass. I'm describing something that manages this entire technology ecosystem for you to help you sleep easy at night. So let me wrap up, if I may, because I was promised 10 minutes. So, you know, what we hear is that others talk about platform. They use the word platform, but what they really mean is CMS. And sometimes that creates the opportunity for failure. And we see and we hear about that opportunity for failure. I mentioned at the beginning, thousands of screens down for some of our customers. And they talk to us, they migrate onto our platform, and then they enjoy 8-minute response times and average 90-minute fix times. So where are we different? Well, so this is what we mean when we talk about platform. Zen as a platform gives you the CMS, the whole ecosystem monitoring and control, proactive monitoring, alerting, self-healing, automation, software and hardware integration, global network and connectivity, data analytics, insights, targeting, personalization, programmatic integration, Hivestack, Adomni, etc., hardware control of the entire ecosystem, OS management. Who wants a Windows update in the middle of the day, for example? Remote power management, remote power conditioning, power scheduling, lighting control, and so on. So this slide really helps you understand that when others talk about platform, we think they're talking about CMS, we think they're talking about media player and content. When we talk about platform, we're talking about the entire ecosystem, and to not consider that entire ecosystem leads to downtime and leads to dissatisfaction. So I will wrap it up, and I promise this final slide. I'll summarize who we are again. Ground Support Labs, GSL. You know, our strapline, we empower media networks for unmatched uptime and audience engagement. There are other companies that look like us. There are other platforms that look like us. But what we've done over the last 12, 13 years in creating this platform is as a result of listening to pain in the field. And the pain is there isn't enough access to the ecosystem. There isn't enough control and remote management. The data network is unstable, and people are spending far too much money and taking too much time on service calls and truck rolls. So we as a business and the platform that we take to market, Zen, is there to solve those challenges and take the pain away. And I think I've done about maybe 20 minutes. Sorry, Barry.
And you've done a great job, and this is so important. Of course, from the business to know what's working, what's not working. I love and by the way, if anybody has any questions, we'll have time for just a couple of questions. But the fact that I like the idea, as opposed to getting tickets and problems, you're getting something that's solved when you wake up in the morning and your coffee just tastes better. What is as important is that, and this is interestingly, the 3 pillar keys of my summit next week are going to be responsibility, sustainability, and sector growth. And I was interestingly recently asked and reported on by the Wall Street Journal, where they asked, what are we doing about sustainability as an industry? And I had some good answers, but you actually provide more fodder. And the fact that you can adjust the movement of electrons by how many people are in front of the screen and what the audience is, and then remote control it is just so critical, because it's very easy to look at our industry and say we're burning electrons or putting big screens and big light and blight out there, but solutions such as yours is imperative for the future. Let's work on some more PR together with you and your team, Martin. Does anybody have any questions? And you could really basically just speak it out at this point. And in the meantime, I have a question. Do you work? Is it a SaaS kind of a monthly fee, or is it one time only, or how do you charge for this?
Well, typically there are two elements. There's a capex for migration. Okay, so there are certain pieces of hardware and software that we need to install if it's an existing system or existing network. So we would come into, we'd open the back of a, here's an example. We'd open the back of a kiosk and we would add some hardware. We would install some software. So there's a bit of capex up the front, and then ultimately we're into a subscription. So it's a monthly subscription, usually on a 12-month contract. And usually we roll that into the provision of data, with the provision of support, with the provision of our software, all into one nice, clean monthly fee.
That's great. Is anybody, if you're shy, you could just chat in on questions if anybody has any. Okay. And just how long have you been in business and Ground Support Labs been around, Martin?
Well, as a team, we've been together for about 13 years. We did pop up as a different organization. Ground Support Labs as a business has been around for just over 3 years, I think, now. And long story short, we as a team had this vision, and the vision is the one I've just shared with you over the last 20 minutes. Okay. And we had to create our own business in order to deliver to that vision. So the vision has been growing in us for about 12, 13 years. And then 3 years ago, we set this business up to execute it.
Excellent. Well, this is important for all of our members. It's also important for the industry as a whole, and it's important for humanity to take it to the high level. So thank you so much, Martin. We look forward to seeing your teams.
Sorry, Perry. I did think of something I wanted to ask. Martin, do most media owners have some sort of like homegrown solution that they try to do themselves, or are they using, like, everybody's doing this and they're using someone else? What does that look like?
It is a mix, Carrie. So we still have a lot of even very large media networks that consist of a screen, a media player, and a CMS. And the only insight that media owner has is what the CMS tells them. And that doesn't tell them whether the screen is working. It doesn't tell them whether the content is playing. And it only tells them it goes wrong if somebody walks past it and reports it. There are a lot of networks that are still like that. I meet some media owners. I won't name names because it will be unfair, but I met the CEO of an organization that is quite literally himself running from mall to site fixing stuff because there's no one else. And he's the CEO of his organization. He should be growing his business. He should be managing his business, but he's fixing stuff. And so,
oh boy,
what my experience is that these things have morphed and grown out of control. Things have been added and modified, and perhaps partners have been changed and they've come in and added a little bit more. There's no asset management or inventory management. Nobody really knows what they've got. And it kind of works if the CMS says green dot. But the moment you haven't got a green dot in your CMS, most of the people we talk to are fairly blind. They don't know why, they don't know what. They can probably tell you where, but they can't tell you what to do about it. So there is a lot of pain out there, and we can help some of that pain, but it is varied. It's varied, Carrie.
Okay, thanks.
What a great image! This media owner running around with a screwdriver and a laptop to every kiosk, and I understand his family is out every night, taking pictures of screens left and right as well. If anybody doesn't have any more questions, Martin, this is great. Like I said, it's important for business and important for even a larger picture. We look forward to seeing your teams next week at the big summit. And we will probably be doing our next London event the end of November, and Ajay may be in touch for some more guidance. So, Martin, thank you so much, and this is going to be a great week next week, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, everybody who's joined us.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.